Welcome back. This is part 2 of So You're Writing a Book. Whether you've got a book finished and you don't know what to do with it, whether you're halfway through, whether you've got an idea and you're starting, a lot of people want to know, what do I do about this whole publishing thing? And sometimes you think, well, I'll just package it up, I'll send it to my favorite publisher, and of course they're just going to love it. I did that when I was in high school. It's a very bad idea because publishers have extremely stringent, very specific requirements, and you presenting something to them is very similar to going on an interview. If you show up at an interview wearing a red shirt when their website said, come to an interview wearing a blue shirt, you've discredited yourself completely and they're not going to hire you. No matter what kind of a good worker you are, how amazing you are, you've lost it. So one of the biggest things that I can tell you about publishing is do your homework. It's important. It's worth taking the time to do and doing right. So let's start back at the beginning. Is your book a fiction book or a nonfiction book? If your book is fiction, the first thing that you need to do is finish your book. No agent or publisher is going to consider a fiction novel unless it is completed, because it's your writing that makes the difference that they're looking at. If your book is nonfiction, it's more about your topic. You're going to need to create a book proposal, and you need 3 chapters, 3 sample chapters, because sometimes they may like your idea, but they want you to go in a different direction. So you don't need to have a complete book if you're nonfiction. You do need to have a complete book if you're fiction. After that, you need to decide, am I going to go searching for an agent or am I going to go straight to the publishers? I did a lot of research on that because you kind of think, well, who wants to pay 15% to an agent if I can just send it to a publisher myself? The problem these days is, with the economy tightening as it has, publishers are cinching their belts. They're accepting way less than they used to. And so, in a way, getting a book published through the mainstream market is kind of like trying to win the Miss America pageant. You may be gorgeous, you may have an awesome dress, but there's 50 other gorgeous girls standing right next to you. It's very, very hard to get in these days, especially if you don't have a huge following, which is called a platform. If you want to know more about platform, the expert on that is Michael Hyatt. You go to www.michaelhyatt.com. He can tell you everything you need to know, and his book is fantastic. If you want to know about agents, and kind of considering whether you really should consider an agent or not, the expert on that is Rochelle Gardner. You can Google her name. She's got videos on there, and probably if you get on that website, she'll convince you in one way or the other, because there really are a lot of advantages. Basically, agents are the middle people between the writers and the publishers. They weed out through the slush pile, and if they have chosen your manuscript, it gives a lot of credibility. A publisher who gets something from who knows who may just toss it. A publisher who gets something from an agent says, oh, well, they liked it, so I'm going to consider it. If you are going the mainstream route, or if you're going through an agent, you're going to need to learn how to do a book proposal. And basically, a book proposal is an interview on paper. It is presenting not just your work, but yourself and your target audience, whether you're a good writer, how you're going to market it. Basically, it's you presenting, this is who I am as an author, this is the work I've done, and this is how I'm going to benefit your publishing company if you take me on. We don't have enough time to go through how to make a book proposal. Maybe I'll do another video on that later. But for now, if you're thinking whether you're looking for an agent or whether you're looking for a publisher and you're thinking, well, how do I know what they want? How do I know how to do this? The best thing that I can recommend if you're a Christian writer is Sally Stewart's Christian Writer's Market Guide. Again, you can Google this, you can buy this from Amazon, you can buy it pretty much anywhere. This is the top resource if you are an author trying to get your work published. There's a whole section in here with agents' names and what they're looking for, what they represent, and how to contact them. There's another whole section of all the publishers that are out there. You can go through and find, this publisher likes this type of book and this type of book. Okay, I'm going to contact them. And it gives you the name. The most important thing that I can tell you about trying to get an agent or a publisher is this. Look up their website, go to submission guidelines, and do whatever they tell you to do. Different publishers require different things, and they can weed out most of the people who send them things because most people don't bother to do that one simple thing. And if they've told you, send me a query letter and don't send me a proposal yet, and you send them a proposal, that's a no. If they tell you, send me a book proposal, but send everything in one attachment, and you send them 3 attachments, you're letting them know that you aren't taking this seriously, and so they really shouldn't take you seriously either. So it's a good way to get yourself refused a lot and waste your time. It's worth the extra time to go into each individual place, find out what their guidelines are, and follow them implicitly, because then you are presenting yourself as a professional, and you're letting them know you're going to do what it takes to be successful in this market. That's something that is valuable, and it's something that sells you as well as your work. In the end, whatever you're working on, whether you've started, whether you're in the middle, whether you're finished. I hope that you enjoy what you're doing. Sometimes you can get so caught up in the I gotta get published that you stop enjoying writing because it's all about the end result. Well, if God's giving you something to say, then it's worth saying. So enjoy what you're doing, put yourself into your writing, and then kind of let God take it where it goes, but be willing to put the work in to do the best that you can. And if you're looking for more advice about writing, go to KimberlyRay.com, and you can look at my books too and see if you want to buy those too.